Hey y'all, this is my review for the Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 14, the season premiere, Episode 1. We are back to Black Bravo nights on Sundays. I am so excited. Y'all know that, Real Housewives of Atlanta is like the jewel of all the franchises. Now, last season, we're not going to talk about that. It's actually been a full year. Like the last episode of Atlanta premiered, I think, May 9th, 2021. So it's only been like a year. It feels like two. So with this episode, I'm hoping to get back to basics, bring the fun and the shade. I gotta say my expectations were pretty low, so they couldn't go anywhere but up. Like last season was kind of rock bottom for this franchise. So without further ado, let's get into this episode, shall we? This was a supersized episode. It was an hour and 15 minutes, so y'all get comfortable. Cause, spoiler alert, it was a decent episode. So we start the episode off with the villainess herself, Kenya Moore. Now again, y'all, I'm giving Kenya a blank slate this season. I'm giving her a chance. So I'm not going to be biased. Y'all know how I feel about her. Please go look at my my top 10 housewives of all time. She made top 5. I give her props. So Kenya lovers, get off my back. I'm giving y'all's girl a chance. But anyway, she's practicing with her partner for Dancing with the Stars. And the first thing you see is that booty. I think she needs to get that sculpted or something. It still just looks a little fake, but she's still beautiful. I totally forgot Kenya was on Dancing with the Stars. That's why I was confused at first when I turned it on. She must have went home early. Her dance partner is kind of cute. I saw a lot of people fawning over him. I'm like, he alright. He looks like, is his name Orlando Brown or Orlando Jordan? He played in That's So Raven. He looks like him without the drugs. Already. We are not even 2 minutes in the episode and production is on one. So Kenya is taking her shoes off and she's like, oh, don't look at my feet, they ashy. Girl, you haven't solved that situation since Portia called you out? And speaking of Portia calling her out, they actually play Bye Ashy, Bye Ashy. They gave it an echo, y'all. Already they got a laugh out of me. So we know already that production's gonna be on one on this episode. Oh Lord, she falling for her dance partner? I don't know, Kenya, I don't see it. Okay, we have Miss Candy Burrs coming through to visit Kenya. I see she got the red hair a little bit. That might be an indicator of a good season, y'all. And she looks good, in my opinion. I know Alex be clowning her a lot, but Candy, I think, has definitely stepped it up on, the makeup and the fashion. And I genuinely think that. And here come Marlo with this short wig. I'm not feeling that dress, Marlo, but apparently she was dressing like Kenya from... I'm not even sure what Kenya was even going for with that look. I think it was a costume party? It seems like Kenya and Marlo are on good terms for now. And Marlo has a confessional. She officially has that peach, y'all. So we ain't never gonna hear the end of it. We are reminded of Marlo's legacy on Real Housewives of Atlanta. It has been ages. It took her 10 years to get that peach, y'all. 10. A whole decade. I think she would have got a peach sooner if she didn't use the F word on Bravo and then lied about it. I think that's what really delayed her peach. She just called herself a legend. I'm gonna need you to pump the brakes on that, Marlo. But congratulations on your peach. Ooh, I'm not feeling that short wig on you, Marlo. I love you with a Naomi Campbell. A good bone straight. So Kenya's dance partner leaves for the day to let the ladies talk, and now the conversation has turned to edges, and it looks like Marlo got some work done to get her edges back. So she did the whole hair transplant. So now we get a little funny clip from production now that Marlo has edges, some type of low budget, it's just your soul glow, but just with edges. That's what it's giving right now. Old people in the chat, y'all know what movie that came from. So now the ladies are just talking about their dating life. Kenya has a crush on her dancing partner. I think she needs to go see a matchmaker or something. She be choosing the wrong men. That man might play for my team. Marlo's talking about she's dating somebody but don't know what he do. Ooh, and Candy already with the shade. She was like, well, people still don't know what you do, Marlo. Candy's gonna continue to ride Marlo about what she do for a living until she sees a W-2. And speaking of that, Marlo tells us what her day job is. So she basically loans luxury fashions out. That's the simplest way I could describe it. She lets the ladies know she has a formal gala coming up to showcase her business. Okay, Marlo, it's a legit business. She says one of her clients is Tammy Roman. We get a little cameo from her. And here we go with Marlo again reminding us that she was with a billionaire. The other ladies just roll their eyes at it. They're like, okay, Marlo, okay, girl. That was 10 years ago. We cut to Candy in her confessional. Now, I will say, Candy, you are counting Marlo's coin a lot. Not sure if you noticed that. She says Marlo is still living large, riding in Phantoms, and wearing designer clothing, so she's just curious of where she's getting her money from. Ooh, and here we go coming to meet the ladies. It is Miss Sheree Whitfield. And production, again, they're on one. All we see is Sheree switching them hips and production playing hell to the gnaw, to the gnaw, gnaw. Oh, they just playing all her catchphrases as she just walking to the door. Soon as Sheree comes in, her ears perk up for the mess. The original bone carrier herself. It looks like her and Kenya are on good terms, surprisingly, for now. They all greeting each other like they haven't seen each other in years or something. Damn, as soon as Sheree sits down, Kenya asks her about Tyrone. So Sheree is officially dating this man now that he's fresh out of prison. Sheree, I am not feeling this confessional look with this blue eyeshadow and this pink top. It's a no for me. Damn, and she says she sat idle for years waiting on him. And they doing long distance? He's in Philly for right now. Not sure if he can travel to Atlanta yet. What? Sheree talking about her sex life? I mean, Kenya knows he asked. She asking, oh, well, how's the sex? She was like, oh, it was pretty quick. And everybody laughing. I love that they have the scene with the OGs first before we get to the other ladies. Oh, this is nice, them kikiing together. Everybody's getting along first. It has a real nostalgic feel. It reminds me of the earlier seasons of Atlanta. Sheree's also telling us in her confessional how her and Kenya are cool now. And then production reminds us of Kenya versus Sheree. And they've gone at it a lot. But it seems like they got cool again because they're actually neighbors. We are still all in Sheree's business right now. She says that her and Tyrone are practicing abstinence, and the other ladies are just like, girl, what? I'm just wondering why. Like, y'all grown, and you said that y'all already had sex, so what's the difference? The ladies are asking Sheree, aren't you worried he might entertain other women? Sheree is like, he loved this wop. Again, not expected from Sheree Whitfield. Like season 2 Sheree would not talk about her sex life like this. So the ladies take a break from grilling Sheree and then we get to other people in the hot seat, starting with Kenya. Now she is still going through a divorce with Mark Daly. Like, that is crazy. She has officially been divorcing this man longer than she's been married to him. I don't know. Like, at first I thought this was on purpose so she could have like a storyline, but now I feel like they've been separated for at least 3 years now and only together for 1. So then we get the Candy's business thanks to Marlo asking. And she's just saying that her and Todd, they just don't have sex a lot as they used to because, Candy be working. I mean, Candy keeps a check. A lot like Keke Palmer. Like those 2 black women, they keep a check. Candy says sometimes he be wanting it, but she be tired. And then Marlo's like, well, just lay there, girl. I agree with Marlo actually. And kudos, Marlo. I like this little legally blonde look she has in the confessional with the pink and then like the blonde wig. Okay. So next scene, we are getting to know Marlo Hampton a little bit more. It is kind of odd though with the camera staying on Marlo and actually following her to her house. So yeah, her plot line is going to be, raising these 2 boys. She said that her sister is currently incarcerated, so she's had the boys for 3 years now. I don't think she said when the mom is coming out, but from the looks of it, it looks like she's doing a good job with the child rearing. And, she's taking care of them, making sure they get a good education, making sure they don't look crazy on camera, cooking for them. Drea and Black China could take notes on this. Wait, did she ask her nephew to cash app her for breakfast? She's kidding. Even though it's very Marlo and on brand for her, she has to be kidding. Did I miss the joke? I'm a little high right now because it's nighttime, but did she really ask him to cash app her? So next scene, we are with Drew and her toxic acorn-headed ass husband. Drew coming back to this show, it really surprised me. Her first season was a meh. I don't really think she stood out at the reunion. I'm like, if they gave Drew a chance, they could have gave Shamari another chance. I will say though, her husband is fine, but he gets less and less attractive when he talks. So they're headed to the gym right now to work out, and I'm guessing her husband's talking about him being an athlete. So production asks her about his time at Rutgers, and she isn't really familiar about it, so she calls him during the confessional. Has him on speakerphone and asks him, oh, what position did you play at Rutgers? He said he played wide receiver, but he says he didn't play in any games while he was on the team. I don't think Drew expected him to be so honest about the answer. He keeps talking and says, oh yeah, I mean, I was only on the team for 2 years. She tells him to stop talking, he's on camera. So he was a bench warmer at Rutgers for 2 years. Got it. So when they get to the gym, we find out that Drew is meeting the newest housewife, Sonia. Ooh, I'm gonna have such a hard time remembering. Sonia. She is an Olympian athlete, and her husband plays for the Giants, and he has 2 Super Bowl rings. So they are a very athletic couple. Good looking couple too. I'm guessing this is why I decided to keep Drew. Because, I mean, I guess it's her friend. So Sonia is asking Drew when's the last time she worked out, and then Drew mentions that she has her own program that helps with weight loss. It's called Drop It with Drew. So then they begin the workout, and I'm guessing they're having a little contest between each other, and they have Drew racing an Olympian sprinter. But yeah, this is light work for Sonia. She's clearly holding back. So of course Drew and her husband lose that couples competition, so now they're just working out. And then it comes apparent to Sonia that it looks like Drew don't really know what she's doing. She can't even do a proper squat. And it looks like she's struggling with the other workouts. Is this her first time in the gym? Because this is how I am in the gym. And to say you have your own fitness program, this is troubling to see. Quick side note, y'all, doesn't Sonia look a lot like Karen Pittman? If you don't know her, she's the black woman from the morning show. She was like the executive producer, I think. And she was in the new Sex and the City reboot. She was the one with the husband, and she was having problems having kids, that one. So now we cut to Drew in her confession. She's talking about her marriage to this toxic man. She says they're still having their little problems. It's also kind of weird that Drew and her husband are complaining about one another to Sonia and her husband, like while they're in the same vicinity. I don't think they're gonna last. Oh boy, so the new problem amongst this couple is Ralph hired an assistant who is probably a beautiful woman. And Drew went into orbit when she saw some text between them concerning a massage. Highly inappropriate. And all these red flags that Ralph be sending Drew way, she ignores them. Drew is telling a lot of her business right now, and it's mostly negative things about her current relationship with her husband. She tells Sonia that Ralph told her if he had to pick between his dreams and her, he would pick his dreams. So next scene, we're with Kenya at her house that's still below sea level. It's really nice to see her daughter. Like, she's unblurred. Her daughter is so cute. And she has her dancing partner over. They look real cozy. And he's playing with the daughter like he's there all the time. Like, are they dating? So Kenya gets a ring at her door, and it happens to be an employee of Marlo who is delivering in-person invites to all the ladies. So the girl basically brought a laptop with her, and she's just pressing play on a video invite that Marlo sent to the ladies. Couldn't she just have sent that video to, like, you know, an email thread for all the ladies to watch? This is a little extra for no reason. So all the other ladies are just commenting how extra Marlo is, but Kenya, shady ass Kenya, she takes it a step further and tells Marlo's own employee to tell her to step it up next time and stop being so cheap. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenya Moore. I will say I did get a good laugh at it. I mean, it's expected of Kenya to drag Marlo on any of her events. So next scene with the new housewife, Sonia, at home with her family. And of course we get a little background on her. Clearly she's Jamaican. I feel like the gold medals thing is gonna be the new 4 degrees. Like, we're gonna hear it every episode. Her parents also live with her and her husband. She lets us know that she moved to America, I think when she was 12. She's been married to her husband for 18 years. And she says she's been married to her husband for half her life. And I was just like, oh, I did not know she was 36. Like, she's the same age as me. She just has like a mature air to her, so I thought she was like maybe early 40s, but good for her. Her son is adorable. And y'all know how much I hate kids, but cute kid. They then get to the topic of kids, and he tells her that he wants another kid, preferably a daughter. So then she brings her son into it. She's like, oh, you want a brother or a sister? The little kid says a dog. That is the right answer. She then says that she's hesitant to have another kid because she said after she had her son that they were distant with each other. So she's afraid that if she has another kid, it'll be bad for their marriage. But then he also tells her, well, maybe you not having another kid will be bad for the marriage. So then I kind of gave him a side eye because I hate when men like request kids from women like it's just putting in a song in a jukebox. Now, I'm not a woman, obviously, but I would assume that pregnancy does a toll on a woman's body. There's also the possibility of complications, you know, not drinking. I mean, that's the most important part. So yeah, pregnancy is a long road for women. But other than that, they seem like a really nice couple with a beautiful family. So next scene, we're with Drew, and she's having Sonia and Candy over to try food from her fitness program. Who is this sissy minion greeting Candy? Yes, Miss Candy Legendary. Calm down, sis. Somebody was ready for their close-up that evening. It seems like Sonia already knows Candy, but Candy knows everybody in Atlanta, it feels like. Drew is talking about her fitness program, and she says she lost 25 pounds in 3 weeks. So then they put up a before and after, and oh my God, this was shady. Like, they put a before and after, production put a question mark behind it, and then they show the picture and there's clearly no difference between the two, and then there's an added caption saying she actually lost 10 pounds in 3 weeks, not 25. So she's putting on for the cameras right now. This is embarrassing. I wonder how Drew feels watching this. And then the looks on the ladies' faces, they're like, okay, girl. In their confessional, they're like, she don't look like she lost 25 pounds. So later on, Sonia brings up what her and Drew were talking about when they went to the gym together about Ralph being ain't shit. Drew is being very Jada Pinkett Smith right now and telling a lot of her business, and most of it is negative aspects of her marriage. And then as they're talking about Ralph, he conveniently comes out the door, and it looks like he was listening to them. He was definitely ear hustling. So now he's trying to tell his side of the situation, and it's not convincing. And that's ironically what him and his wife have in common. They're not convincing. He clearly doesn't understand the optics of someone other than his wife asking him for a massage and him entertaining the idea of it. Yeah, the ladies ain't buying it. They think he's full of shit. And then he tries to change the topic. Next scene is the day of Marlo'S Gala event. We see her getting to the venue at like 5:15 for hair and makeup while there's setup going on. They then fast forward later in the evening where people are arriving, everything's set up. The ladies show up. All of them are looking good. Sheree, I don't like this dress. It's given very like rug. Like she just wrapped a rug around her. As for the event, it's a nice space, but the problem is there's a lot of space. It looks like less than 50 people went to this event, and the room can hold at least maybe 500 people. I think that's the problem. I actually think the clothing display setup makes sense because these are pieces that are preserved for her to rent out. Like, she doesn't need models wearing them for hours on end at the event. Here go counting Candy again. She counting Marlo coins saying, ooh, she must have spent a lot of money on these clothes. And the event space, it looks expensive. Candy needs Marlo's bank statements, her W-2s, maybe 2 years of tax returns. Like, she is really invested on how Marlo is paying for this. Like, I'm actually on Marlo's side on this. Like, leave Marlo alone because when she come for you, you ain't gonna like it. We see that Marlo is hella late. Like, she got to the venue at 5:15. They show that it's 8:30. The event started at 7, so it's taking almost 3 hours for hair and makeup. So Kenya then pulls up to the event, and y'all, she looks stunning. I think she's the best dressed of the night. Listen to me. Lord, hell must have frozen over. We found out that Kenya just got eliminated from Dancing with the Stars. Thankfully, she didn't quit her day job. She had Real Housewives of Atlanta to go back to. So Kenya meets Sonia for the first time, and it's a little awkward between her and Drew because they were beefing all last season. Like the last time she probably saw Drew was at the reunion. Soon as Kenya gets to the event, she wasted no time critiquing Marlo'S event from where's the food? Well, honestly, yeah, you don't see any food at the venue. You see like one plate maybe being passed around. She's talking about the decor. She's also saying that her business name is spelled incorrectly. And then we get a little spelling tutorial from Sonia in her confessional. Like the confessionals so far have been A1, especially Kenya's. Damn, Kenya. A ballroom with no ball. She's on a roll tonight. We then see Drew and Kenya at the bar away from the other ladies, and it looks like Drew wants to make amends with Kenya and just start fresh with her. It looks like Kenya's being cordial tonight with her, and they agree. I personally think Drew's being calculated because Portia isn't on the show, so she doesn't have an ally. So she figures aligning herself with Kenya and getting on her good side, she'll have an easier season. Unfortunately, she was wrong because production is embarrassing you, girl. Like a lot throughout this episode. You're gonna have a long season ahead of you. Child, Marlo still ain't there. She arrives to the event at 9:30. I think she was over 2 hours late to her own event. Marlo looks good in this first look she came down in. And then we see her talking about the clothes that are on display, and they're actually legit. No fakes. That actually would be quite the scam if she was renting out fake luxury items. Marlo's explaining the pieces to the ladies and saying they're all for rent. And then Drew has a question about renting them, and Marlo asks, well, when was your last gig? You still in the industry? Oh! Everyone was just looking at each other, and then Marlo's like, I'm just playing. It was a good shady moment. Lucky for Drew, Marlo was kidding for now. So Marlo goes upstairs to do an outfit change. These ladies are still shading her event behind her back, particularly Sonia asking, are there any more fashions? Like I was expecting, some models, and Katie's like, that's what you get for expecting. And here go Kenya again, giving her 2 cents about Marlo's event, saying the mannequins should wear wigs, she should have some catalogs out. I can't wait till Kenya has an event and Marlo's able to crash and just to return the favor to her. I think this was the funniest part of the episode. So Marlo comes down in her second look. It looks a little avant-garde, but then Sheree says, what the hell is she wearing? She looks like that little candy that be in my grandma's purse. They showed the strawberry candy. Black people, we've seen that candy in our grandmother's purse. I can't unsee it now. Like she's basically wearing that candy wrapper. So we still hearing Candy, Kenya, and Drew talking. And then Candy's like, oh, I like that dress. Kenya's like, the dress isn't supposed to wear you. Kenya is on a roll. I love how she just leans into being a villain. Just leans into being a bitch purposely. And she's just so nice, nasty with it. She's been funny this whole episode. I'm enjoying Kenya. Oh my God. Oh, and the mess has started. So Sheree and Sonia, they both go over to Marlo to let them know that the other ladies are complaining about her event. They all were talking about her event, especially Sheree and Sonia. They just trying to put a battery in Marlo's back for her to go off on the other ladies. Because when Marlo comes for you, she goes low. Ooh, new girl, Sonia, Miss Olympian 4 gold medals, you messy. You might fit in just fine. So Sheree continues to tell Marlo they questioning where her money came from. And now Marlo is just going off on the ladies. She's calling them basic. They wouldn't know anything about this. She says, Kenya's trying to wonder where my money's coming from. She was living in a hotel with a white refrigerator. She goes, Kenya has been, and then says, get your house pressure washed. Sheree and Sonia are wrong for this. Marlo is now ready to drag these girls. So we're back with the other ladies talking, and Drew's issues comes up because, Candy is now telling it to Kenya about the assistant. And it looks like Candy did her research and she found the assistant's Instagram, and it looks like the assistant is throwing subliminals at Drew. Candy is low-key messy. She found the girl's Instagram. So Drew says it seems like Ralph is complaining about her to the assistant, and he was supposed to fire her. Girl, the counselor isn't working. You might need to get a divorce from this man. I get it, he's fine. But is he that fine? Like, he's making a fool of her. Kind of like how Michael Darby used to make a fool of Ashley. So Marlo, Sheree, and Sonia get back to the other ladies, and Marlo is on ready now. Soon as she sits down, she confronts the other ladies for talking shit about her event. Kenya's like, are you directing this at me? Marlo curses her out immediately. She's like, well, I don't know what the fuck you said. Kenya's like, why are you cursing? Kenya, you know what the hell you said. But what's even messier is Sonia and Sheree was talking just as much shit. Candy interjects and says, well, we were all saying something. And then Drew was like, yeah, like, we were all just asking questions. Marlon tells her, I wouldn't expect you to know anything about this. The look on Drew's face, because it's true. Because Drew can't dress. This is the Marlo that I signed up for. She is earning that peach. So as Marlo's reading the girls, Sonia and Sheree admit to going back to Marlo and letting them know what everybody said. Sorry, Sonia, what you did was really messy. You cannot spin it any other way. No, Marlo got up her seat and went behind Drew and was like, you got a French roll. Now, y'all, I don't know anything about hair. So ladies, is it a bad thing that Drew had a French roll? What's wrong with a French roll? And production, they in on it. So they put a side-by-side of Drew's hairstyle next to a croissant. Marlo is making light work of Drew. Leave Drew alone. She doesn't know how to read yet. She needs to learn. Like I said, she has a long season ahead of her. So now Kenya and Marlo going back at it. And she said she was going to read all of them one by one. Kenya's like, well, you got to learn how to read. Marlo does admit that Kenya is the reader of the group, but I still can go low. And we know Marlo. Kenya talking about Marlo FedExing her fashions on eBay, saying it should be LeBay instead. Production. Editing needs an Emmy for this first episode, so now they put up LeBay on the screen. How is it this funny on the second watch? I'm high. I have to be. Kenya, you get 10 points. High five to Kenya. So now it's Candy's turn to be confronted by Marlo, and she's just asking what Candy said. And Candy was worried about where the money coming from. She's wondering how does she make a profit on her clothes. And Marlo, she breaks it down like immediately. It ain't no up, up, up. She knew exactly about a transaction. And then Candy was asking about the venue money. Marlo was like, that ain't nothing. That's just like the cost of a Birkin bag. Marlo was ready. She was ready. I love that she came to play. I also love that she's not afraid to read Candy. Because sometimes Candy need to be read because she be doing her dirt in the dark sometimes. I don't know how they got to it. I'm not sure if Kenya even meant this as shade, but Marlo was talking about her boys, and then Kenya said, are they in private school? I guess Marlo took that as shade. She was like, oh no, did you go to private school? You're so smart and intelligent. Did you go, Candy? You're filthy rich. You didn't go? She then asked Drew. She's like, okay, well, you're not even as successful. Oh, Marlo, kudos. That last dig at Drew, Sheree was like, oh, Lord. Yeah, look what y'all did. Y'all knew what y'all were doing when y'all went to her. Marlo then walks off in her strawberry candy dress as the other ladies are just looking at each other like, well, damn. So then the ladies just looking stunned, and then that is where the episode ends. Brava, ladies, brava, or should I say bravo. That is how you open a season. I am really impressed and pleasantly surprised. I really enjoyed that, especially on the second watch. This gives me hope. It was fun, it was light. It reminded me of earlier seasons of Atlanta. You could tell the ladies actually are friends with each other. And then even the Shade and Read session, that was fun. Like nobody got up and fought, nobody cried. It was just, like Kenya was laughing afterward when Marlo walked off. It had balance, it had a good introduction. I would give this episode solid 9 out of 10. Really good. All the ladies brought something. As for the new girl, Sonia, I like her. It was a nice brief introduction. I'm excited to learn more about her. And it looks like she can be messy too. Like we have another bone collector in the group. Always good to see the OG Sheree. And Kenya Moore, what a pleasant surprise. I really enjoyed Kenya on this episode. You did not hear me wrong. I said I enjoyed Kenya on this episode. She was definitely the MVP of the confessionals. And last but not least, the MVP of the entire episode, Marlo Hampton. Congratulations on that peach. You earned it, girl, especially on the very last part of this episode. I cannot wait. Like, Marlo has these girls on their toes. She obviously has no problem going there with the rest of the cast. I just saw Watch What Happens Live with Marlo on it. She did a really good job. She continued to read the fuck out of Kenya. I mean, thanks to Messy Andy. But yeah, y'all, surprisingly, I enjoyed this episode. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Were you entertained? Do you like the new girl? Let me know. And with that, because I have a lot of videos to do, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you for Candy and the Gang. Bye.